I just gave someone my number and now I'm reeling. I just want to block them so bad. And they haven't even used my number yet. But I guess they made a mistake of giving me their number too. What I tend to do when someone gives me their number, when we exchange, is to go in there and just block their number. Boom, shakalak. This is another Facebook dating chronicle. Hey everybody. It's Tuesday, March 4th, or March backwards. No, I'm kidding. 1937. And there's one person of all the stories that you've heard who sent me a message. It came in a form of a comment to one of my pictures on the dating site. There's no other way to send a message right away before someone matches back other than to comment on something. So he commented, hey, you travel a lot, you seem to be blessed. Something about he's looking for someone to chat with or whatever to that effect. And immediately I felt safe because he was upfront and said he wants someone to chat with. So I immediately was like, okay, good. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just chat with this person. No expectations. And I know I can set a boundary and I will not cross it. So we start chatting, and a week passes, and I'm like, wow, this is the longest I've chatted with somebody. And it's to the point of looking forward to hearing from this person. This person is funny. He's a kiki. And I'm like, this is great. People are coming and going. They're getting blocked. They're blocking me, probably. And this person is just solid as a rock, boom, boom, boom. And yesterday I asked a question and he said it's a story that he explains better over the phone. And I thought, is that his way of asking for my number? And so I didn't respond to that because I you know me, I'm not trying to be close to anybody. And also, I want to be close to people. It's that dichotomy. Then we get to today, and I'm just, minding my business, the usual, trying to book a trip and working, looking for stuff. There's another story I was going to tell, and I thought, let me not digress for once. Then I go for a walk this evening, and I'm listening to my podcast. And he says, I check Facebook. My mind wanders a lot, and I'm learning that more and more each day. It's not unlike the way that I talk. If you've listened to a few of these, you will realize I touch on this and I touch on that and whatever. It's kind of the same thing, apparently, with my mind too. If I'm sitting down, then it's like, okay, let's listen to this while I'm doing that. And while I'm doing these two things, let me also do that. Why don't I get up and do what? And then it's just a lot of things. So I went for a walk and I was listening to an audiobook. Then I was like, this sucks. So I returned it, and there's people waiting for it, and I borrowed it from the library. People waiting in line, it's due in a day. I'm not going to listen to that whole thing in one day because I don't feel like it. So I return it, and I place myself on hold so that in the future when it's available, hopefully, my timing is going to be better. And then I start listening to another one. I'm like, I remember this. I wonder how much of this I've listened to in the past. And then I'm like, why don't I listen to the podcast that I'm going to post tomorrow morning? It's always best to listen to them the day before, so that, because I post them first thing in the morning while I'm still in bed. I don't want to waste too much time. So let me multitask while I'm doing something else. So I start playing the Ramona Costa book review. And I'm listening to that. And then while I'm doing that, I'm like, okay, let me go on. And I'm walking. See, I'm a multitasker. I can walk and listen to something. And I go on Facebook dating, and I check on there. And there's a message from this guy. And I'm like, and he's like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Hope you're good. So I'm like, I respond in a voice message, hey, good, blah, blah, blah. And he says, how about we exchange numbers? Because he thinks that maybe we're at that stage now that we can exchange numbers. He asked respectfully. This person so far has been my person. He gets a joke. He can tell a joke. You know what I mean? He's good people. He even listened to some of my podcasts. I mentioned them, and he was like, okay. In fact, I didn't. He was like, do you really have a podcast? I was like, yeah. And then he checked it out, and he was like, okay, I listened to a few of your shows. And then he listened again on a different day and made a comment about some of, me and my dad jokes, etc. That doesn't necessarily endear someone to me just because they listen to my podcast, you know what I mean? So it helps the ego. No, it's not that. It's that he said he was going to, and he did. That's the thing. And so I was like, oh, shoot, still listening. Sometimes you're like, oops. You forget who is out there and who has access to stuff like this. And this podcast is very open and raw and not necessarily meant for public consumption. So you're like, oh, shoot, which one? And I remember when you first listened, I said, don't tell me which one you listened to. Because I didn't want to feel self-conscious and be like, oh, my God. Was I crying in the freaking podcast? Was I, you know what I mean? Oh, my God. What mindset was I in? So when he asked for my phone number, I sent it. I thought, why not? I have to check in with myself constantly. I try to be present and all the things. So I thought to myself, you do want to have some kind of a social circle. You do want to have someone or more that you can connect with who gets you and all of that. You're going to have to open yourself up a little bit. So, you've been talking to this person. They haven't done anything. I have to state my case and plead with myself. It's okay. Give this person your number. And I'm like, but I'm going to have to block him. And it's not just that, like, oh, I blocked this person. It's that, like, it's going to come to an end. Why don't we keep it the way that it is now? So I thought I was being cool. I didn't even, he wrote 3 messages when he asked for the phone number, and I just sent the number. I didn't send anything else. Because I'm cool people, I get it. And I was dying after that. And then I was like, whatever. And I continued listening to my podcast because, I'm always working basically. And I'm walking and I'm listening, I'm walking and I'm listening. And then I get home and I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? And then I go to my messages, my text messages, to see when was the last time I talked to someone on text. Granted, a lot of people talk on WhatsApp with me. Barely, but a lot of people do so there than they do on text. Even if it's just two people on WhatsApp, but that's a lot more than on text. When I go there, I see my medical aid, my this bill, and the confirmation on this website and the bank, or whatever. I was like, damn, I really have no friends. And the last one is like it's like a 70-year-old lady, and that's fine. Whatever her age is. I had checked up on her because it was her birthday. And I'm very good with birthdays, so I'm going to remember somebody's birthday. And you may have noticed that too here. When I mention the date, then my mind's gonna go ting 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 ting, and I'll remember something. I'll remember random people's birthdays. Once I mention it, that number will stick in my head. So I was like, oh my God. So now I'm starting something new. I purposefully have not been texting to people. And now I'm going to be texting with someone. I'm going to be going to my texts. What am I doing? I feel like I'm falling off the wagon. And it's like you're breaking your, what is it called? Your streak. Kinda. So I went back to Facebook dating. I'm home at this point, and I see that he sent me his number in return. So I say, you're welcome, and I put an eye roll. Because, you have no idea what giving this number means to me, which that's not his fault. He doesn't have to worship me because I finally gave somebody a number. But he can thank me for it. That's the least he can do. So he said, sorry, man, thank you. And I don't know what else he said. And I said, and then I was thinking, oh my God. And I took his number because then I can block it, you know what I mean? Before he even texts me. And it just started shaking. And I thought, what the fuck? I don't think I've had this reaction before, guys. I don't know what is going on. But I think I do. I think that I alienate myself, and I continuously and consistently do so. And time goes on. And now the amount of time has gotten to the point of it's no longer natural for me to let someone in. And so it's just like now, oh my God, it's gotten to that point of complete anxiety inducing. I feel overwhelmed. And I'm like, okay, good, he hasn't texted. So I'm just relentlessly checking, has he texted? Okay, good, he hasn't texted. And he sent a few more messages on Facebook dating. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And I just was crying, and my throat was hurting from crying. Not but that thing that happens. I don't know if it happens to anybody else. The throat just like choking. Just hurts from the depths of pain. Of what? I couldn't tell you. And I'm like, this is crazy. I feel like I'm crazy, basically. So I sent him a message saying, just so you know, I don't give out my number. And on the rare occasion I do, the person ends up being blocked. I thought I'd just let you know. And he said, I understand. I would be guarded too. I don't know why that makes me choke up. But when he used that word, guarded, I said, that's exactly, I thought to myself, that's exactly what it is. Of course, I get it. Like, I'm guarded. And I work hard at putting the guard up and keeping it up to make this space inside the bars safe. You never thought you'd ever hear that, right? That inside the bars it's safe. No, it's outside the bars. You want to be out of the bars. It's a prison pun. So, yeah, I was like, okay, he gets it. And I felt relieved. And I felt suspicious. I was like, and then he said, one of the things that he had said was, I think that you and I will vibe, because from our conversations, obviously we're vibing from our conversations. I will have 12 messages and look at them like, I am not even going to be responding to any of these. Some of them will be deleted at some point. I don't feel like talking to any strangers at this point, answering the same question. Where are you going to next? Or what are you doing today? Or whatever, which is fair. They don't know that I've been answering the same questions from other people and all that. So, but I'll message him back, because to me it's like a low maintenance type deal, and like a comfortable space, which who doesn't want that, right? I'm thankful for it. But my fear is, when is the other shoe going to drop? That's 100% a me problem. I know that. I get it. So, yeah, he said, we're vibing, and I think that we'll do okay on text. He had asked me on a different day, am I Apple or Android? I said Apple. So he sent me apples to my house. No, I'm kidding. And he was like, all right, and your podcast. I was like, have you still been listening? He said, yeah. And today's episode was about depression. And I thought, today's episode was rough. Because I listened to today's episode on a different day that I was going to post it. And I got emotional. And I thought, I am not ready to post it myself. And it's episode 49. Because apparently I have 50 episodes now, including the trailer. So, by the way, if it sounds like I'm burping, and if you listen to a few of these things and you keep hearing me saying, excuse me, I'm not burping. It's weird sounds that my body makes. And then I'm like, I'm sorry, because I know what it sounds like on tape. And so he was like, yeah. And I was like, have you still been listening? He said, yes. And today's was blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I appreciate you listening. So now then, a part of me, because I think that I'm looking for a reason to cut ties. Basically, to go back to my comfort zone of nobody around me. So I'm thinking to myself, this person knows a side of me a lot of people don't. Because, yes, I have listeners on this podcast, and thank you guys. I appreciate it. Please come back. But I don't really know who the people are. Once in the blue moon, one person will comment, but it's not a regular occurrence as of today, March 2025. The podcast is barely 2 months old so far. And I'm thankful that I have consistent listenership. Every episode has been listened to multiple times. So I'm like, this person knows that side of me, and, listening to me cry, me talking about poop, me, you know what I mean? Talking about, yeah, I bought this house and I live in this house and I'm alone and whatever. Because now you piece them all together and you get a complete picture of this person. So I'm like, I can't. What is going to happen at some point when, this is me playing devil's advocate, a lot more people in the thousands, hopefully in the hundreds of thousands, have gotten access to the podcast, and then all those people will know my deep dark side, and it's deep and it's dark, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Because I keep saying, follow me on whatever. The people who follow me on whatever, they know one side of me. So if you piece that together, you know what I mean? And together with the other side, then you have a whole picture. And then what? What's going to happen? Am I going to take down the podcast once more and more people? Like, I don't know. So I try to reason with myself. The intellectual side of me gets it. And the emotional side is like, hold up, they don't love you like I love. It's like, no, step back. They don't love me, which is also lyrics of the song. Oh my gosh, Queen Bee. I hardly even listen to her music, to be honest. But, sometimes I speak in lyric. Wow. I can't believe I was shaking from giving somebody my number. To be honest, as we wrap this up, I have been doing better with my anxiety. The dreams are, here and there. I mean, the other day, a couple nights ago, somebody was dead in my arms. They were shot in the chest, and then the head fell off while I thought they were still breathing. Literally, the head just fell out off of the neck. So I guess it was a nightmare, but I understand why that dream came to be, because of the kinds of shows that I was watching during that day. And I would like to know from other people who have their periods. Before your period, do you have nightmares? Because I don't know if it's nightmares or vivid dreams or what, but I always, for the most part, remember my dreams, and sometimes I'll dream of something that's going, and then it'll happen the next day. So I have that whole dream thing going on. A lot of my family does. My mom is like creme de la creme when it comes to just being clairvoyant in a lot of different ways. So, but before my period, let me see when my periods do. Probably why I'm like crying. Sometimes I feel like I'm dismissing myself when I say that, because I'm like, but it makes sense that it tracks that somebody with this kind of past and whatever could feel the way that you do, whether it's before the period or after. 1, 2, so I'm looking at my calendar now. They don't love you like I love you. February 12th. Wait, what? My period was on February 12th? Oh, I thought it's the 12th today. No, it's not the 12th of March today. The 12th, because the 12th is stuck in my head because that's the date that I'm trying to do accommodation for. I'm trying to book a trip. Okay, so 12th, 7, 14, 20. Oof. Yeah. 7, 14, 20. Wait. 7, 14, 21, 28. Oh my gosh. The period is supposed to start on the 12th. Well, that's fine, though. You just want them to start, then I'm going to be okay. But it's the 2 weeks before my period, which those 2 weeks started last week. I've been doing okay then, for the most part. I mean, shoot. Even last month, that I even put a note here because I track everything and I put notes on my calendar. I put a note when my period started last month, and I put okay PMS. So the PMS was fine, thank God. I've been eating a lot of cheese, which tends to happen with PMS. I crave cheese. I used to crave peanut butter a lot, and sometimes I'd be like, man, how can I make peanut butter and cheese delicious, eaten combined? Don't think I haven't tried either. Oh my God, I used to eat peanut butter with everything. I did a video of me eating peanut butter with avocado. It's on YouTube. Anyway, we're just rambling now. Let me let you go. But first, I went to the library multiple times last week after I hadn't been for about a year. We chatted and whatever, and they're like, they always say, everybody when they see me, they're like, where have you been? Like, oh, we don't see you anymore, blah, blah, blah. One of the ladies was like, why don't you come here and whatnot? Where have you been? We see your car at your house, so we know you're around. How come you don't come? They're probably like, what is the deal with this freaking person? I'm like, I'm outside. I'm walking. And I like to keep, I don't want to... The same thing with this number story. I don't want to continuously have a relationship with people. Then I start getting scared because I'm waiting for it to end. And, that feels really funny. I don't say that to them, but I'm like, I always tell them, like, I don't like to be a regular anywhere. I like to hide away from people. And then once in a while, show up and then disappear. So I went multiple times, which was very rare for me. I even went like day after day, and then I skipped, and then I went again, maybe 3 times total. I was trying to book using a different IP address. So I was using their internet, their computers. And I even thought, even today, I was like, should I go there? I got excited about it. I was like, no, don't relax with that. Just grab your own laptop. And I grabbed my laptop and I did the same thing on my laptop, went for a walk, came back and did the same. And I was like, yeah, we don't need to, we can take a break from the library now. And knowing myself, I probably won't go to the library again this year, like for the next 9 months. But we shall see. But my point is, one of the ladies there, she walks every day and whatnot and hikes and whatever. And I thought, maybe we should go, maybe I should tell her, like, let's go. Let me know next time we will go for a hike together. And I was like, girl, you crazy. Really? Me opening myself up like that? So that someone has an option to say no? Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Nope. There's a person that I'm friendly with. I know them personally, but we haven't seen each other in person since Hollywood days. We used to blah, blah, blah. But now we chat on Facebook. I appreciate this person. We talk, about deep stuff, personal stuff. We open up to each other. Well, I don't open up about the kind of stuff that but like we talk. And this person said, we should hang out. We both don't have friends and whatever. They're married and whatnot. And I said, sure, but don't hold me to it. I'm not good at doing that kind of stuff and doing, committing. And I'm good at once I make a commitment, I'm committed and I'm going to see it through. But I'm not good at relationships. So, because now I feel like it's taking it to it's the same trend of what I'm talking about. It's taking it to the next level of going. First, they suggested that, sometimes they go to Death Valley. Maybe they'll come via my house. Yeah, I didn't entertain that. I shut that thing down fast because I'm thinking, absolutely not. The anxiety I had a lot of anxiety around that time, a lot of heart palpitations. It was a tough time a couple of years ago. And before that, but I'm talking about a couple of years ago. So, and then later on, they brought it up again. They're like, we should do something. You're available on the weekend, blah, 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 blah. And they brought it up. We were talking to another mutual friend who I've since blocked, and their wife, but that's neither here nor there. In fact, I think his wife blocked me. I don't know what happened to her. Was she unfriended? I don't know. Actually, that's not what I think. I think he blocked me from her profile. If you want, no, can you handle the truth? You can't handle it. No, I'm kidding. So we were all chatting, this dude and this other person. And it turns out like we're all like in the, I guess, high desert. I don't know what high desert is. And this person said they're like in the middle of both my location and the guy's location. We should all meet in that area. And I thought, yeah, also, it's not even 2 people now, it's 3 people. Even though I know them, I'm comfortable with all these people, by the way. Well, obviously not that comfortable because one is blocked. He made himself way too comfortable. So I was like, all right, bye-bye. And then this person said to me, like in January, one day I messaged them, hey, what are you doing? Because I didn't have any plans for that weekend. And they said something along the lines of they're doing this and that and blah, 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 blah. I had never suggested anything of the sort, so I don't think that they were trying to block me from saying what I was going to say, because there's no way they could have known, unless they're psychic. And I said, do you want to do lunch? They had done me a favor prior, and they said, I owe you a meal. So I said, do you want to, cash in on that lunch or whatever? Trust me, it's not an easy thing for me to do that kind of stuff. But I thought maybe this would be the right person to say it to, because they had, in the past, suggested multiple times hooking up, linking up, meeting up, connecting, blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, they weren't available. They said, some other time, blah, blah, blah. And then a different time, they mentioned in passing that they went for drinks with a neighbor. And I thought this person had said they have no friends and whatever. And I mean, you can go for drinks with a neighbor or anybody and still, not consider yourself a friend to that person. It's just all me. It doesn't mean this person's a liar. This person's not a liar. I know that. It's me. And then on a different date, I was like, I am going to drive past your area on my way home. What are you up to? This is last minute. Because the thing that I was doing was so important, I didn't want to be making plans with people and be thinking about that, because I know how my brain works. I can't be bothered with other things. I needed to tunnel vision to the one thing I was going to be doing. So now that it's done and it was a success, I was like, all right, and I called them. I actually called them on Facebook, and they picked up the phone. We talked on the phone. I was driving. And they were like, man, they have stuff. They were so overwhelmed. I'm glad we talked that day, because even they texted me and said we needed that phone call. Both of us needed that chat, that phone call. We hadn't talked on the phone like ever. And they were like, we should do this again. And I think, so that didn't work out. And on a different day, I asked, what are their plans for the weekend? Just asking. And they were going to blah, 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 blah. This person lives with family and just not a lot of people, but they got a lot going on in their lives. And of course, me just asking what are you doing is different from saying, do you want to make plans for a certain time where we could do this and that? But I can't do that, because I'm going to have a lot of anxiety over the plans hanging over I can't do that. So I just check in. I think a part of me is happy when the person's like, okay, I can't, or when they say they're busy, because then I don't even have to go to that place of vulnerability and opening myself up to say, do you want to do something, and risk them saying no. I say all of this to say, I'm not asking them again. There is a place that's not far from where they live that I have in my want to go place on my Google Maps. I'm going to go there and check that area out. And it's probably going to look funny when I go there and I check in on social media or whatever, but it's not personal at all. It's not personal because I just told you a 1 hour story. Oh my God, is it really after 8? How long have I been talking on this thing? Oh, only 30 minutes. Oh, thank God. But how is it after 8? Today has been crazy. I looked at the clock in the morning, it was after 10. I was like, what do you mean? Oh, excuse me. All of a sudden, I'm getting all nasally. I don't think I've ever said that out loud, that word. And I don't even think I know what it means. So, yeah, I tread lightly, and then I think a place is a soft spot to land. and I land very carefully. And shit hits the fan, and I'm like, oops, I guess I was wrong. By the way, I'm aware this is not a positive episode, but I'm glad we talked. If you've made it this far, you are my hero. Thank you, and find me for more of the stories. No, I'm kidding. They're not anywhere else. The stories are exclusively on Babbling Brook. Podcast is our Facebook group, and we have an Instagram. Follow us there too. And I'm on YouTube, like I mentioned, as well as we have a blog, Babala Brook, on both. All my links are, I'll put a link tree, which is the tree of links, right? If you click there, you'll be able to access my stores and whatever. I should put Patreon link on there too. We're also there if you want to support the movement and keep our lights on, as they say. Thank you so much. Please reach out to me before I block you. No, I'm kidding. I promise I haven't blocked you yet. Thanks so much. I really appreciate our relationship, and that I can come here and talk about anything and laugh and cry and all that good stuff. Before I let you go, oh my God, he texted. Oh my God, my chest is burping. I'm not burping, but I'll say excuse me, I guess. But maybe I'll cut that part out, but if I don't, just know that I did burp. Brooke, how's it going? Oh my God, he texted. It's 8 p.m. and he texted. Now I'm going to overthink it. Oh, he texted at 7:40. Okay, good. If this person will still be listening by the time I post this, obviously he'll know that it's about him. You are my hero. Yeah, I wanted to let you know. I wanted to check that and let you know before I let you go. But if you go, I'll make you a night like no night has been, there will be again. If you go away, I need to find that song. I've been listening to great music today. Brandi Carlile, if you don't know her music, check her out. Brandi Carlile, Lile, one word. Cheers.